YouTube and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy. This is Jeremy Rewinds and today we got a real 3DO?
Press start, let the adventures unfold. Retro games and...
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jeremy. This is Jeremy Rewinds and today, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. It is right now about middle of August at the time of filming this. And if you can help me, like you guys have helped me so far this year, and even in the previous year, I started out in 2024 with only 25, 26 subscribers. By the middle of August, we were into the low 200s. I see no reason we can't get to 1,000 by the end of 2024. So give me an opportunity to help so we can get this channel growing. Anyways, we're going to talk about a very obscure console. This is the Panasonic 3DO.
Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? The Real 3DO system from Panasonic.
It is a CD-based system. You can see there's a CD in there right now. The one I have in there is called Slam Jam. This console is very unusual to say the least. You have an expansion pack on the back of it for whatever that was for. Obviously it runs on RGB. It has S-Video. There's your power, RF out, RF, S-Video, AV, and your power down here. And it does work good. I picked it up from a guy locally here in Orlando. It is a bit of an obscure thing. You gotta want to collect for this, and let's face it, this is one of those consoles that a lot of people didn't even know existed, which is why its life didn't exist very much. This is the top load version. This is an FZ10. There are other variants where there's one that's a pretty chungus looking kind of thing. Think of it like the SEGA CD, but thicker probably, and it has a tray that slides in and out. And obviously this one is like the Model 2 for the SEGA CD, where it's just a top load. The system, it did not last very long. Think of it just like a SEGA CD. A lot of full motion video, and like that was it kind of stuff. There was like Space Ace, for example, is a great example I like to use. Sewer Sharks is another good example I like to use, because these are ones where like basically you're just pushing like left, right, up, or down, but that's like it. Like, hey, we gotta make a left, so you push the left button. Like, you don't really have much interaction to some of this stuff. It's basically like watching a movie, and that's about the extent of it. Now, is that bad? No. Is it fun? But is it a game console that I was always wanting to collect at some point? Yes. The opportunity presented itself, so I jumped on it. And one thing I can tell you, being in sales, I tell everybody all the time, from friends, family, and clients, if you see the opportunity to present itself, don't hesitate, jump. Just like in Pixel Game Squad, I've heard those guys say the best time to buy something is when you see it. And this is one of those opportunities. It presented itself. It was way below what market value should be on it. I don't know if he was just looking to try to get rid of it locally to avoid fees and things like that, because let's face it, cash is king, to avoid eBay fees, Mercari fees, Poshmark, you name it. Even if you sell on Whatnot, there's fees on there. Then you have sales tax and so many other things that you have to pay to Uncle Sam. So cash is king if you can. And sometimes it takes a lunatic like myself to come along and say, hey, you know what? I would like a 3DO. So anyways, it came with that. This is the controller. This is one of the two controllers that it comes with. You can see right here. It looks like just like your typical 90s controller, your D-pad, A, B, C buttons, shoulder buttons, so it's a little more like a Super Nintendo button controller in that consideration. However, what's interesting is the 3DO and the AVGN did talk about this. If you guys ever go and watch James's videos, there's a port on the top here. Now, what might you say that port be for? Well, let's pretend that you and I want to play a game together. I have one controller, you have one controller. Guess where this plugs into? Not into the console, because mine plugs into the console and there's only one port. You got a daisy chain off of me. So we take yours and we plug her in right there. And now you get to play off of mine. That's how it works. Yeah, a little goofy, but nevertheless still a fun game system. I've been having fun with it, been playing around with it. Next we want to talk about, with this particular one, what did I get with it? I couldn't have just gone through and bought the console. No, I bought the console and it came with, I think, 9 or so games. So let's talk about those games. First 3 that we're going to go over are loose discs. I really don't like loose disc games. 3DO stuff's not super inexpensive and it's not super expensive at the same time, but I'm going to hold on to them until I get the opportunity to replace them at some point. And this was the first one you saw in the console. This is called Slam Jam, 1995. That's one of those, it's just a basketball game, nothing fancy. This one, I haven't tested it yet. This is called Star Control 2. I know I have Star Control for the SEGA Genesis. I'm not sure where it's at. It's somewhere back there on that wall. And then the good old pack-in game, Gex. Now, I've thought about leaving, because you can see right here, it says not for resale. That's why you know it's a pack-in game. The 3DO came with Gex. It came with, I think Slam Jam might have been one of the discs that it could have come with as well, but obviously, not for resale. Whatever. That was always silly why manufacturers did that. Sega did that, Nintendo did, all these guys. Oh, it's not for resale. People are still going to resell it. Anyways, eventually I'll find the boxes, the manuals for those. But speaking of boxes and manuals, let's look at the ones that came with it. First one we're going to start out with, which is a bit of a disappointment, Dragon's Lair. Now, all these are how they're supposed to look. They're supposed to be a very long box. They're kind of skinny. They're not like Sega CD, Sega Saturn kind of boxes or PlayStation 1 long boxes. Those would be a little bit wider than this. 3DO boxes are a little more narrow. Here's the back of the box right here and what it looks like. And then again, just like any DVD case that was cardboard from that era, that's how it opens up. Here's the inside. This is where your disc goes. And then I have the manual right here. Now, as you can see, there is a little spot here for what, I don't know. They're all just very generic cases. But one thing you will notice in here is there's no disc. That is unfortunate. This particular one did not come with the disc. I do like the original price tag of $7.99, but it didn't come with the disc. So that's the only one that was missing, but that's okay. I'm sure I'll find a loose disc at some point that I can throw in there because it is CIB otherwise. Mercenary, Combat in a Digital World. This I popped in. This is weird. This is $9.95 and it shouldn't even be $1.95. The perfect digital death world. Unless, of course, I'm just an idiot and I can't figure it out, which is very possible. Idiot. It says, welcome to Perfect, the ultimate virtual battleground, a Darwin cyber state where survival is a matter of real-world life and death. It's by a company called 5 Miles Out. So it's like a group of like 5 guys. It's not CIB. Here's the guys right here. 6 guys it looks like. It's not CIB because it's missing the manual, but the disc is right here. All I need is the manual to make that one complete, but it is in the box. Moving on from there, we got good old Need for Speed. The very first, the very original Road and Track presents. Look at that beautiful Ferrari Testarossa. You can tell right there by the vents. There is a little bit of a nick up here at the top. Obviously a chunk out of it. Start your 3D engines. And this one is missing the manual as well, but again, it is all there. It's in good shape. There was probably 2 or 3 of them that were missing manuals. This is Shockwave. Shockwave is one of those games that I remember I got my copy of Shockwave for the PlayStation 1 in the long box at KB Toy Liquidators or Toy Liquidators in the Bertrand Mall. I've said it 1,000 times before. If you know somebody that has Toy Liquidator store merchandise, the signs, the cabinets, things like that, I would love to get an opportunity to buy some of those things. Anything that's from Toy Liquidator, specifically if it came out of the Toy Liquidators in the Bertrand Mall. That said, this is Shockwave, and I played this game. It was my first experience with FMV, full motion video. Loved it. The graphics definitely have not aged well. It's not the greatest of graphics, but this one is really cool to have it on the 3DO, and as you can see, here's our first true CIB. We got the manual, we got the disc, all that fun stuff. A little advertisement for Road Rash on the inside. But very, very cool to have that in the collection. A game I never figured I'd ever get a chance to play, Mad Dog McCree. This is a light gun game, and I was playing with it, and you got to be very quick. Your controller, you got to it's like this, right? It's not super fast. You really need the light gun. I went on to eBay, I started looking around, I found a light gun, and then I saw a light gun in the box. Now, I had spent, I think I think I gave him $285 for everything, which is a really good deal because you have the console, 2 controllers, all the original hookups, and 9, I think it was 9 games, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boxes, 1 missing, so 8 games plus 3, so 11 games and 1 box that's missing the game. So I think it was a really good deal. To me, I think if I price charted it, it was over $500 for everything. So it's about 50% where I like to be at on my purchases. But anyways, Mad Dog McCree, you can buy it on the Wii, and I'm sure the Wii is a fun thing, but it's not very common to find it on the Wii. And I think the Wii game actually includes Mad Dog McCree 1 and 2. Here's the inside though. Here's our disc, here's our manual. They have the other live motion picture action. It is really fun, don't get me wrong. Mad Dog 1, Who Shot Johnny Rock, Crime Patrol, Mad Dog 2, Space Pirates. 5 different games, and it's you can see right here, here's some of the in-game footage right there. It's very fun. But I do need a gun, and like I say, and then I looked it up. I'm a big box guy. I found one loose. I think they wanted like $150 or $175 for this crazy thing. But then in the box, I'm like, oh, there's one listed, and it's ending in 5 minutes. And it was like $200. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just spent $285 in this whole thing. How dare I spend $200 on a boxed gun? And I bid on it, and then I ended up losing it, and it went for like $250, which I think is still a really good deal for a boxed 3DO like Justifier is what it looks like. But $285, I only spent $250. I spent $35 more, and I got all of this. It just goes to show you that eventually I'll find it loose somewhere out in the wild, or I'll find it in the box, maybe at a convention or something. Speaking of sewer sharks, I mentioned this a minute ago. This is a game, a U-Direct interactive film. Let me tell you what, I popped this in, I played it. The level of 90s punk kid aggressiveness, like, man, you stink, you're horrible, you need it, you're gonna it's hilarious, right? It's just goofy. Very 90s feel to it. Again, full motion video, you can see all there. You're flying through a sewer, you're like shooting rats and stuff, trying to save people. This one has a very big manual, you can see like that, and there's our disc right there. I wasn't super impressed with it, but it's alright, it is what it is. We're going to circle back to Shockwave, but Shockwave 2, this is a little bit of a different box. This one is like, you know, comes apart like that. And this one has no manual loose inside, but these come with the manual. So you have Beyond the Gate, Briefly Beyond the Gate, and Operations Guide. So you have both discs, and they both have the manuals in them. So I'm okay with that. And I don't think there was any other thing that would have maybe come in here. Maybe there would have been like a spacer or something in there. But here's the back of the box. You can see all the fun little footage of it. Another full motion video one. Coming down to our last two. This one I tried playing. This one's called The Incredible Machine. Winner of 12 major awards, including Child's Best Award, Best Puzzle Game in 1993, and Editor's Choice by PC Games. Over 200 brain-twisted puzzles. I tried this. I started this. I think I got to the second puzzle and I gave up, and I went to YouTube and I started looking up people that have played it. It is missing the manual right here, so I'll have to get that. But it was stupid difficult. Like, I don't understand, why is it so difficult? Anyways, and then the very last one that I am disappointed is not CIB, but is in immaculate condition, but I'm super jacked about, because I am, as you know, a large, massive Jurassic Park fanatic. I got Jurassic Park Interactive. $9.95 originally. There is no manual. But it has this foam insert in here, so I don't know if something was like in there and that was like holding it, or I don't know. But I played it. I thought it was kind of fun. It is goofy, okay? Just gonna tell you, full warn, it's goofy, right? It's like a computer screen that you're looking at, like in the park. You're like at a command center or such, and you can click between. What were the options here? So, like, say you want to play as one of the characters, like Grant, or you want to play as Mulder or Sattler. You pick them and you find a spot on the map where they got to go to, and you're basically trying to escape the dinosaurs. and you're just driving a Jeep and you're just dodging like trees and branches and things like that. The dinosaur, the T-Rex, is in the background. He's getting closer to you. There was a security one. This one was hilarious. You had to be able to reset the security system. You had to go through 5 levels of security levels. And it was so goofy because as you're going through the 5 security levels, you had to like get a 20,000 scores, right? 20,000 point score. And one of them was like asteroids, but you had like 9 lives. And it didn't matter that you got to 20,000 or 40,000 or whatever number you got to. Once you got to the number, it just kept going. So if you were good at it, you basically had to kill yourself. You had to go through all 9 lives to be able to, and then like, congratulations, you're moving on. Anyways, I'm super jacked about it nevertheless, because I love Jurassic Park. And this would have been one of the first ones I would have bought if I hadn't got it, because I knew it was on there. And I'm very excited about it. So anyways, that completes today's video. This completes the last of my videos that I recorded for the day. Tons of cool stuff, tons of cool pickups. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy the 3DO. If you don't enjoy the 3DO, hit that subscribe button anyways. I'll see you guys next time right here on Jeremy Rewinds for the next adventure in retro fun.
Press start, let the adventures unfold. Retro game.